Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Intelligence Advantage from Smart Devices to Strategic Decisions, presented by Justin and Danny. This webinar is brought to you by our sponsor today, Appspace. Before I hand the presentation over to our presenters, there are a couple of housekeeping items that I need to address first. For the CTS holders among you viewing our presentation live today, the webinar qualifies for one renewal unit for the CTS and for the CTS-D, but none for the CTS-I. Please allow up to 7 business days for those to appear on your transcripts. But if you have any issues here, please feel free to email the webinar team at webinars@avixa.org. Today's presentation should last between 45 and 60 minutes, and all attendees have been placed on mute. If you have any questions during our presentation, please enter them into the Q&A window so today's moderators can address them at their discretion. To access this Q&A window, simply move your cursor towards the live stream video box, locate the Q&A icon, and type away. Just please be mindful that there is a separate menu for the chat and to not put your questions there as they will not be recorded. You will have access to our presentation on our website, avixa.org, and the location is avixa.org/webinars within about 7 business days. And that's all from AVIXA for now, and on to our presentation. The floor is yours, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you, Dion. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're here to talk about a challenge that many of you face. One challenge that I face is caffeine consumption and talking too fast. So I'm going to work on trying to slow my verbal cues today. But a challenge that you may face is that your buildings are full of smart devices. And are they actually making your business smarter? So over the next hour, we'll explore how to transform your existing AV and IoT infrastructure from a collection of data points into a powerful intelligence engine that drives your strategic business decisions. All right, Danny, I'm not seeing. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Danny, maybe you could just move the slides for me. It'll be easier.
Gotcha.
Cool. All right. So over the next 50 minutes, we're going to walk through the core dilemma that every AV pro faces. So we'll touch on hidden costs of a complexity and then dive into a clear, unified vision to simplify your life. So Danny is going to show some of that in a few different live demos, and then we'll save 10 minutes, maybe even more, for some Q&A.
And I'll go ahead and start our introduction. So, hi everyone. I'm Danny Feinerman. I lead our digital signage product line here at Appspace. And I actually bring a unique perspective since I was actually an Appspace customer long ago in my early career. And then in addition to that, I've also worked on our partner side. I worked for AVISPL as well. So kind of bringing a unique 360 perspective, being a customer, a partner, and then now being a product manager here at Appspace. So that experience helps me focus on solving the real world challenges that our users face. So with that, I will pass it back over to Justin to introduce himself.
Awesome. Thanks, Danny. I'm Justin. Before Appspace, I spent almost 20 years in the corporate hospitality events industry. So I have that real passion about what it takes to create great experiences. So now I today get to work with enterprise customers in the Midwest and help bring that same energy to their workplaces and their workspaces every day. And I guess I'm big into James Taylor, Danny Weezer. I don't know where we meet in the middle there, Danny, but I feel like we could have some sort of a band. I don't know.
Music is music, right?
Music is music. All right. So let's start with the core problem, right? So every piece of AV equipment, every room panel, every sensor is a data point. But if they're not talking to each other, what good is it, right? So you're left with this collection of expensive and underutilized assets. And so the gap between data collection and then data intelligence is what holds a lot of enterprise companies back from optimizing their real estate and then proving the technology's impact. Next slide, I think. So, is that right, Danny?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So, yeah, next slide. I think we're on to the fragmentation.
Are you not seeing that?
I think I'm seeing your building is smart. It's okay though. There we go. Okay. So we have this fragmentation that creates that poor experience for everyone, and employees have to jump between apps to book a desk, find rooms, or see different important announcements. So for you, the AV and the IT pros, it means juggling multiple vendors, dashboards, and support contracts. And that's obviously that's inefficient, and that makes it really, really hard to manage all of this strategically. Next slide. Maybe we're just one off here.
I advanced it.
Okay. Maybe my Zoom's a little bit slow. There we go. Awesome. Okay. There we go. Sorry, Danny, I'm seeing the fragmented tech experience.
I'm not
we're
seeing that. So yeah, I think there's maybe quite a bit of a lag, but I've already
Oh, there we
advanced.
go. Yes, there we go. Now it caught up. Okay. So you think about, sorry about that, everyone. So you think about all the data sources in your building. You have MTRs, room schedulers, your digital signs, occupancy sensors. Each one of those is providing valuable pieces of the puzzle. But without a way to unify and interpret that, it's just noise. And so you can't answer those critical questions like which rooms are the most popular and why, or is our digital signage content actually being seen? Awesome. And this isn't just an inconvenience. It does have real financial consequences that we can now measure. So first off, you think real estate, right? So JLL, a global real estate firm, in 2023, they had this office perspective report, and that showed that a third of all office leases are up for renewal in 2026, right around the corner. So this massive once in a decade opportunity to optimize, but only if you have the right data on how your space is actually being used. And then you think about productivity, right? We all feel that. It's a foundational study. There was one actually out by McKinsey that quantified it. And they found that employees waste nearly 9 hours a week, more than a full workday, just researching and trying to figure out where people are in available places and spaces to be able to work. So your AV and your room booking systems, they can either add to this frustration or obviously they can be able to solve it. So that's going to lead directly to ROI. And without the data from the first 2 points, it's incredibly difficult to prove the value of your technology spend. So you're stuck in this conversation about costs instead of strategic conversations about business impact. And then finally, and most importantly, the workplace experience, the employee experience. So our own Appspace 2025 workplace experience report that found that I think 66% of employees would rather work from home on most days. So this means that the pressure is on to make the office a destination, right? We want it to be a magnet, not a mandate. And so if the in-office experience is full of friction, then people just aren't going to want to come into the office.
Sorry, guys, just one thing, because there's a few comments coming in where people are saying that the slides are not moving. We're on this high cost of good enough. I think
Let me
you just
stop sharing
presented
down.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apologies to the audience for this. Yeah,
That's
we have a
okay.
little bit of lag on
I think
our
it's a
side, but
lag.
not a. Yeah.
How about now?
Let's give it another go.
I think we're on slide 8. We're on slide 8, Danny. I think it feels like it's just there's a lag with Zoom or something. And then
So I think you presented this slide already, Justin.
yeah. Yep. And then
So
to the
let's
next.
try to go to the next. By the way, we will send out the presentation deck to everyone, so you won't miss anything.
There you go.
There we go.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
trying to talk slower. So we'll see if we can get that. But good catch there, Josh. So, all right. So
So
we are caught up. Fast forward here. Now, so that solution that we found is to move from that collection of point solutions to that single unified platform. So one that can bring together like workplace communication. So you have comms and then you have workplace management. And it's not about ripping and replacing, right? It's just about connecting the investments that you've already made to unlock that true potential. A lot of times I call that like orchestration, right? Being able to push and pull and be able to sit on your existing tech stack and be able to just do more and collect more data from that. So we're going to actually show that, and I'll hand it over to Danny, and he can kind of show you what that looks like in practice, and then there won't be a lag.
hopefully not. So let's see. So I just advanced. Is everyone seeing that next slide?
You're still on the unified workplace is what
Yeah,
I'm
there's
seeing.
a serious lag because I've already advanced the next slide.
We also had a comment, Danny, maybe try turning your camera off. Maybe
Yeah.
that helps.
Sad.
Yeah.
So we should be seeing Appspace One platform, one great workplace experience.
We cannot see it. We can only see the slide deck at the moment, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's still on the there we go. Now it has advanced.
Wow. Okay. It's about 45-second delay. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. So thanks, Justin. At its core, AppSpace is the unifying layer. So we are a software platform that connects everything, essentially. So from everything from your digital signage in your lobbies to the room booking panels outside of the conferencing rooms, and even the employee app on your mobile devices, to book your workspaces, or receive your company news updates. So we work with the hardware and software you already have to create a seamless workplace experience. So before I joined AppSpace, I was a customer. I lived the pain of a disconnected workplace. So we actually used AppSpace for digital signage only. So we used that for signage, and then another solution for room booking, and then another solution for receiving. So we all know that siloed solutions create friction. And when employees have to jump between a dozen different apps just to find information or book a room, it really hurts that experience for that end user. So our philosophy isn't to replace those tools that they already use today, but it's really to unite them into one unified platform. And so this slide shows just a handful of our out-of-box integrations. We connect with the enterprise tools that your teams rely on every day, such as Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, Zoom, Cisco, and a whole lot more. And this means that you can instantly pull a Power BI dashboard into your signage, a SharePoint news article, or even a YouTube playlist and publish that into any digital signage screen. You're making that content you already have more visible for your employees. And so the takeaway is really simple. We make your existing tech stack work better together. And so I'm actually going to jump into a demo here. I'll walk us through Appspace analytics and insights. So instead of logging into 5 different systems, I have a unified view of my entire workplace all within Appspace. So I can actually see real-time space utilization, device insights, visitor management data, and even content engagement from our employee mobile app. So really, this is the first step, turning disconnected data into centralized intelligence. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So what we're reviewing here is our AppSpace insights for our reservation data. So we have multiple different modules within AppSpace, and within each module, we have our different insights that you can view. So as you can see here, we have the number of total building reservations or total workspace reservations. You can see these charts and graphs and widgets where you can see workspace reservations over time, most reserved workspaces, and most reserved floors, reserved buildings, and also most active users that are adopting the platform. So within each one of these little charts and widgets, you can actually click into those and dive a little bit deeper. You can change that time between the last 7 days, 30 days, whichever time frame that you want to select there, and then see those top reserved workspaces. And you can also see who those users are and what those resources are. And then, of course, you can also download this into a report and put it into, say, like Power BI and have those dashboards set up. In addition, you can also go to your reservations here. You can see by locations and review those reservations by location. You can see a full history report as well. And again, changing that date range, and then you can fully download those to export those to an Excel worksheet as well. So that's just one example of our insights there for reservations. We also have our spaces insights. So for and this is more of like a digital comms space. So we have like stories and pages where you can actually see in topics where you can break down your different communications and really get the engagements from based on reactions and comments from our mobile app and our intranet. And again, the same idea where you can have these tiles that you can then break down into. And also you might even want to get some filters where you can see like all different types of content types. And so channels, communities, topics, as well as the different types of posts that you might want to filter out. So a lot of different filtering options as well, seeing which one referral source. So if people are reviewing that content right within Appspace or third-party app integration, so we can actually push out content to Slack, to Microsoft Teams, to Cisco WebEx, and actually see where that content is actually being viewed from. Different trends of time of the day of weeks when people are viewing that content, the most top viewed content, visited feeds. So as you can see, there's a lot of data here that we're really centralizing and giving you some actionable insights of what type of content people are more interested in, or what types of content that they're seeing, and also what times of day people are actually viewing that content. And then additionally, we have under here, we have device insights. So as you can see, a lot of this looks the same, right? So it's the same insights, same charts, same widgets, but just different types of data based on whether it's reservation data, content data, or device data here. So this is more around device management. So you can see device software update statuses, different types of devices, device health over time, and maybe device apps by version. And again, the same idea, we can then click into each of those widgets, get a nice report of which devices those specifically are, or again, you can even add those filters by device type, health status, and so on. And then lastly, we have our visitor management. So here you can then see which invites that you have, the history, again, that can be sorted by date range, and you can download those and export those to an Excel sheet. And then we have our analytics for our visitor management as well. So visitor by type, check-ins by period, visitor purpose, most frequent visitors. And then lastly, we also do have a full reporting engine. So this reporting engine, you can create different reports based on devices or reservation history, and as well as visitor management history as well. So visitor directory or visitor history visits, right? And so within these visitor reservation, for example, you can pull a bunch of data for, let's say, the past 30 days, run this report for, say, all my locations, and you can basically get a data dump. You can export that to Excel and then import that into, say, like Power BI or something. But one key thing I wanted to point out here is that one of the data points that we do report on are the amenities in that room. So this actually gives you actionable insights. If people are reserving a lot of the same resources or spaces that maybe have a docking station or a dual monitor versus single monitor, you can start identifying trends of when people are really looking for dual monitors. So when you're maybe doing a full revamp of an office, you might want to look at getting more dual screen desks versus single screen desks, or maybe more huddle rooms versus a 12-person boardroom. So with that, that's essentially a nice little overview of our device, our analytics and insights there. So that unified view is really pretty powerful. So now again, like I was saying, instead of relying on assumptions, you can use that hard data to make those strategic decisions. And then you can confidently tell your leadership, right? Like I said before, we don't actually need a 12-person boardroom. We really need 3 more 4-person huddle spaces. And this is how you drive cost savings and build a workplace that truly meets the employee's needs. And then on this next slide, we show friction-free booking. So, being able to reserve a desk or room directly from Outlook and Google Calendar, Microsoft Teams, or even our Appspace employee mobile app. So really giving the user to book from anywhere. And then within that, they have a smart search, so they can find a space with the right amenities, like I was showing you before. Search such as like a conferencing room with MTR that holds up to a maximum of 4 people. And then we also have wayfinding integrations where you can get directions right within our mobile app and take that map with you with your mobile device. So my next demo, we're going to make this like a real experience for employee. So this says that employee needs to book a room for a hybrid meeting. I'll open up Microsoft Teams because maybe I work in Microsoft Teams for the majority of my day. And right within Teams, I can open up Appspace using our embedded app right within Microsoft Teams. So I can search for a room that say has 4 people, an MTR collaboration device, and the system will show me what's available. I can show you the getting directions, and then once I book it, I can then show you that it's automatically showing up on my Outlook calendar. I get notified by Microsoft Teams by when my booking is confirmed, and then lastly, that meeting will then also show up on the room booking panel outside of that conferencing room. So I'll do my best here to kind of simulate all that experience. So this is Appspace right within Microsoft Teams. So I can have a nice little Appspace icon here that brings me to my home screen here for my employee app, where I can receive all my communication and news feeds. But focusing on my workplace here, I have my home workplace where I can either jump straight to that map where I can then see all the available workspaces from that floor map view. So green being available, red being occupied. Or I can actually just view more information about that building, either reserve a building pass or then reserve those available workspaces, which will then take me to my places module. So here, right, now it's searching for a number of different available workspaces that are in my Los Angeles Building A during this date and time for the duration of 30 minutes. So maybe I actually want to filter down to a little bit further. I can search for different floors, right? So I have 2 floors in this building. I can search by neighborhood as well. So you can actually mark on those floor plans, maybe this is where your marketing team sits or your sales team sits or different examples around that. I can search for a room that maybe has capacity of 3+. So going back to my example, looking for a 4-person huddle room, and then maybe a full list of amenities that are customizable tags that you can add to your resources. All the way down to say I've added Super Nintendo to my game room, right? So I can actually select the MTR here, and then hit apply. And now it's going to filter to just that one MTR room that I do have in my space. So once I click on that resource, it's actually going to show me some information about that resource. So which floor it is, right? The capacity, what amenities it has. So it has dual monitors, it has MTR, any rules or restrictions that you can actually apply on those resources. So I actually have a check-in where it opens up 2 minutes before and closes 2 minutes after. So if I don't check in 2 minutes after, it'll actually release that room and make it available for someone else so that it doesn't stay occupied. And then additionally, you can see this is actually, we're using our IoT integration with our Cisco Room Kits, where I'm actually pulling real-time data from that Cisco Room Kit, the temperature and indoor air quality, as well as noise. So before I reserve that space, maybe I want to get directions, right? So here's where I can see, I was showing you from the elevator bank how to actually get to that conferencing room 1, right? Maybe if I want to change that resource, I can always change how do I get to this desk, right? So you can see that the path is changing once I show the destination or change that destination. But okay, so now I'm ready to reserve my room. So here I can get this, we'll call this my demo booking. And I'll leave it here for about 10:30 Pacific. Leave it for 30 minutes. I can always add attendees as well. So maybe I want to add a colleague of mine. And then I can add a conferencing link. So we do have integrations with Microsoft Teams, Zoom, WebEx, or Google Meet, where I can actually add the meeting link to that calendar invite. And then when I hit confirm, it's actually going to now book that room. I can see that I successfully reserved that space within Appspace, but now you can see I'm also getting these notifications within Microsoft Teams. So if I go to my activity feed within Teams, I can see that that reservation is officially confirmed. I can either manage that reservation right within Microsoft Teams, or if I wanted to join that meeting right now, but because I added that link, I can always join that as well. And I can even say that's starting soon because I have that, it does start in 2 minutes. So I can also check in as well. So now if I go over to my Outlook calendar, here's that demo room booking. So you can see that integration is showing up right in my personal Outlook calendar. I'm showing as organizer. Here is that Microsoft Teams link. And now when I go up to that conferencing room, I'm going to look at that room panel that's outside of that room. And you can see here, I actually have that demo booking, and here's my Dana Microsoft user that just booked that room. So as you can see, that's the full 360 workplace experience where I'm using my Microsoft Teams embedded app within Appspace, book that room. It's showing up on my Outlook calendar. I can get those directions within Microsoft Teams and my embedded app. I can see that IoT data. And then once I book that room, it is also now showing outside of that conferencing room on that room booking panel. Okay, so and as I was just explaining, right, so we can obviously take this a bit further, right, with integrating with those IoT sensors. So I showed you how we were integrating the IoT sensors for the indoor air quality and also the temperature. But now imagine walking into an available room and a sensor in that room detects your presence, and automatically you can then automatically book that space based on that presence. Or how you saw I checked into that room, maybe that you can set up rules within those different resources and have those sensors understand your or see your presence there, and then the room will actually check you in based on that presence. So it not only shows your availability, but also the current air quality as well on that room booking panel. So this is really how you use technology to create an environment that's not just efficient, but also healthy and intuitive for your employees. And it's really going just beyond simple booking, right? But to create a truly smart and responsive environment. So again, just kind of recap, occupancy sensors to automatically check you in or release those ghost rooms. Environmental sensors, so displaying air quality either on room panels or within the Appspace employee app. Or lastly, which I didn't really talk about this, is integrations with smart docking stations. So imagine you walk up to a desk and you have a Logidock Flex on your desk there. You can connect and dock that station, and it automatically creates a reservation, knowing basically because you're running our Appspace app on your laptop there, and so it actually knows who that person is. And Justin, I will pass it back over to you.
So for every AV and IT leader, proving ROI is the holy grail, right? So with that unified platform, you can finally connect those dots, and you can go to your CFO and you can say, our new video conferencing hardware in huddle rooms has increased utilization by 30%, right? So saving X amount of hours in productivity. So this data that you can collect is just going to help justify your past investments, but then it's also going to build that powerful business case for your future ones. And then this intelligence engine, it's going to extend way beyond meeting rooms. It powers that entire workplace experience. So that streamlined visitor check-in process, that makes that great first impression, or maybe it's the interactive wayfinding on kiosks that help people navigate your new flexible office space. And then every screen becomes an opportunity to inform and engage your workplace, your workforce.
All right, so let's actually pull this all together in a final demo here. So I'm going to invite an external guest to our office. And then from Appspace, I can create that meeting and add my visitor's email. Appspace automatically will then send them a registration link via email with a QR code or even a 6-digit code. And so when they arrive at the office, they can either scan that QR code or enter that 6-digit code on our visitor kiosk. Give the option to print a badge, and then I, as their host, instantly get a message on Microsoft Teams notifying me that my visitor has actually checked in. So my visitor can then view a kiosk that shows them a map to our meeting room, or I can either go and meet them downstairs. But really, this is a single connected journey powered by that one platform. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. Thanks, Justin. Okay, so starting here from Appspace again, I'll go to my places, right? So I can then, let's say I want to book that same room for later today. So I'll say from 12 p.m. I'll select that same room. And here now you're even seeing today's schedule. So you can see that demo booking that was booked earlier. I'll book another room here or another time slot. And we'll call this visitor client meeting. And so, of course, I can always change the duration if I want it to be longer or not. But for this use case, I'll keep it for 30 minutes. And now I'm actually going to invite a visitor. So I can either create a new visitor, or if any visitor that's already in my visitor directory, they'll show up here. So I'll invite Jerry Seinfeld. He's my visitor for the day. And he's a visitor type, he's a business guest. Now, these can be customizable fields as well. So based on different types of guests, you can also set like automated notifications or certain types of things to fill out, like registration forms per visitor type and visitor purpose. So again, these can all be customizable fields. So I'll add Jerry as my guest here. Again, I'll add a Microsoft Teams meeting just in case. And I'll hit confirm. And so now I've successfully booked that room, again, receiving notifications that my meeting is confirmed here. And also if I go to my visitors page, I can also then manage my visitors for that day as well. So now, again, going back here, here's my visitor client meeting, showing up in Appspace, or sorry, in my Outlook calendar. There's that visitor client meeting also showing up later for on my room booking panel. And then also I'm going to show, let me open up this in a full screen. So now this is our visitor kiosk page. So now you can see, imagine this is like an iPad in my lobby. So here's the camera from my iPad. I then have a QR code that I can then scan. Hopefully this will work there. It'll then check in Jerry Seinfeld. I can obviously print my badge, so I'm ready to go and walk around that building. And once that prints, I can then hit done. I will then get notified by Microsoft Teams that my visitor has then checked in with a nice little photo that Jerry has already. He's a recurring visitor, so he's in our directory with that photo and his registration forms. So lastly, we have, say, like a wayfinding kiosk that's outside of the elevator bank there. So if he wants to find a room that we're meeting at, I can select this room right here. I can select show route, and it's going to take me from that kiosk to the elevator bank and tell me to go up to the 23rd floor. And then from the elevator bank, it's going to show me pathfinding to that room as well. So this isn't necessarily in our app. This is actually a wayfinding kiosk that visitors can actually use. So they're actually not using our apps. This is basically like a touch screen. And they can also scan this QR code as well and then take that map with them, where if they scan that, it'll just open up a public URL with that same map, instructing them how to get from point A to point B. So really, again, full 360, inviting my visitor for a client meeting. It's sending them a registration with a QR code. They get to the office, they can scan that QR code. It checks them in, notifies me as the host, and then that my visitor has the option to use that wayfinding kiosk to actually meet me at that room. And then at that room booking panel, it's showing that our room is actually booked. So one connected platform right there. And Justin, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah. All right. So everything that we're talking about today, it's not just theory, right? So a couple examples, real world examples of current customers of ours. We had a global financial client came to us with this exact type of a problem. They had this mix of AV hardware, and it was impossible to manage. And so by using Appspace as that unifying software layer, they created a consistent experience for their users, and then that single dashboard for their AVIT team, which drastically helped produce support calls and giving them the data that they needed to plan for the future. That's kind of one example. Another one would be, focused a different type of business, a manufacturing client needed to get critical information to their factory workers. So connecting their digital signage to the operational data via Appspace, they were able to display real-time safety alerts and then production goals for the day, the week, and the month. So those results, those were immediate and impactful, and proving that smart AV strategy directly can impact the core business metrics as well. So a couple examples there, and as we wrap up, key things to remember for today. So first, unification is key, right? So I think every day when I'm talking with customers, it's how can we be able to ditch the point solutions and just unify their existing tech stack. Second, leverage those investments that you've already made, and those idle screens on your walls. Those are all untapped resources. And then third, let that data guide you. And finally, then put that user experience first, right? A day in the life. What's it going to look and feel like? And Danny tried to walk through that a few different times today, which hopefully you all saw how seamless that was. And that inevitably then technology should make things work easier and not harder. So the conversation, it's changed so much in the last 5 years that I've been in Appspace. It's continuing to change and evolving and staying ahead and proactive with that. And it's creating that destination that's worth the commute. It's the foundation of that destination is that intelligent infrastructure that's going to support your employees and then provide the business with the insights needed to adapt and then to thrive. So as AV and IT leaders, like, you guys are the center of this transformation. We would like to thank you for your time. And I think I saw a lot of questions coming through there, so we'll address those next. If anybody would like to see how Appspace can be able to help your own intelligence engine, there's a link on the screen to book a personalized demo from us. And we hope that you found the session valuable today. So thank you.
Okay, shall we start with the questions? Okay, Jeff is asking, how is pricing calculated for a client?
Sure. Yeah, I will take that. We don't put paywalls on our modules. We monetize two ways at Appspace. One is device licenses. We have different tiers for all types of customers, whether it's starting out at 25 or 50 endpoints. And then you get access to everything that you saw today. And then we also monetize with premium user licenses. So that would be if you had employees in X amount of location or building that you wanted to have access for space reservation, or our employee app for comms, which we didn't even touch base today with. All very, very competitively priced, and always happy to provide specific pricing for you.
Okay, we have a mix of Cisco, Poly, and Teams rooms. Does Appspace work with all of them, or is it a big integration project?
We are hardware agnostic. We do work. Those are all close ecosystem partners of Appspace. So we integrate out of the box with each one of those, and you could be able to take a device ID and register each one of those within a few minutes.
How do you get employees to actually adopt this? We struggle with people to use new tools.
Oh, that's a good one. Great question. So a couple different things come to mind there. One is not having to download another app. A lot of employees just don't want to put another app on their phone, right? So with Appspace, we have with skin provisioning and SSO, everybody could wake up one day and have the app already embedded into Microsoft Teams, but we do have our own standalone app. So that's one. I've seen a lot of different gamification type of scenarios that have gone out with getting adoption and utilizing our tech stack. You'll even see ways to help get folks into the office, whether it be a coupon for something for catering that day, right? Or getting together with HR and comms and facilities of what's going to drive folks in and get them excited to come in to the office that day, as well as a lot of training the trainer programs, right? And just making everything really, really simple to help get the adoption out.
Okay, we've got a follow-up question on pricing. Is it a one-time device license fee or a subscription model?
We are SaaS. We are subscription model. Yeah. Great question.
Does it have a specific hardware or does it work via the app only?
No, we are. So we are. It depends on what your hardware is, right? So your system on a chips or ones that there are ones that have the employee app. I have a TCL running behind me right now that is just running the Appspace app off of the Android Google Store. That is not commercial grade. I do put that disclaimer out there, but it works in my home.
Yeah, and if you actually go to our knowledge centers or docs.appspace.com, we have a knowledge center article that shows our supported operating systems and supported devices. So as Justin did mention, we are device agnostic. We really kind of go by the OS, right? So we support a number of different devices, whether it's Android, iOS, specific digital signage providers like BrightSign or collaboration devices like Neat, Cisco, Zoom, MTR. So a lot of different types of devices out there. So I would encourage you to go check that out.
Can the analytics show why some rooms are more popular? For instance, can it link high usage to the specific AV tech in that room?
Yeah, I can take that one. So actually, I kind of showed that on the demo earlier, where you can actually run a full report and review those amenities that are tagged with those different resources and review those trends of which spaces are being booked most often to then determine whether people are using those docking stations or people are using those dual screen desks or so on.
Okay, next question is what support is available?
So we have support that comes with your Appspace subscription, so you don't have to pay extra for support. So we have a follow the sun model when it comes to Appspace. We're a global company, but we have different tiers of support that come with different levels of your subscription, and we could probably drop that into the link as well if you'd like to. That link into the chat if you'd like to as well, Josh.
How do you coordinate all of the different involved departments within a corporate environment?
I'll take a stab at that. So
Yeah.
I think from a customer perspective, the talk tracks and the meetings are so different siloed when you have AVIT or you have HR comms or you have facilities, right? And so it's being able to hopefully someday be able to bring all three of those together and then be able to see, I call it like the magic happening there when we get all three of those different departments. A lot of times I'll find the new title is workplace experience or like employee workplace, and those are really really good customers for us to be able to talk to because they get it as well. If that's what you're asking, I think it's not easy. It's not easy getting all three together.
Dion, there actually was a question towards the beginning that I answered via the chat, but I kind of just wanted to share with the rest of the group here. So the question one, is there an integration with Outlook as well? And can I search for a room in an Outlook calendar item? And so yes, we do have a full Outlook integration with our Outlook plugin. And we also have an embedded app within Outlook Online as well, which I'm happy to quickly show you since we have a couple extra time here. But essentially, if I go into my Outlook calendar here, we have Appspace Places. This will then open up Appspace Places plugin where I'm still within Outlook, and it's actually going to have a nice similar look within our embedded app. So again, I can go to my LA Building A here. I can search those resources. Here's that same resource that we found before, those same two bookings that I booked earlier. And then essentially I can then select that conferencing room, and then it's just going to add that to my meetings, my meeting invite right there. So it's fully integrated right within Outlook. Or if you're using Outlook Online, we do have that embedded app as well right within Outlook. So just getting another web app installation right within Outlook there. My computer's taking a little time to load it, but but that's the gist.
Can you remotely control the rooms from home in case of an emergency, maybe using a web interface?
No, we don't have that functionality. That's more of like, if you're managing like Cisco devices, you would do that sort of remote work within um, Cisco Control Hub. So I wouldn't say that we are like a full remote device management platform. That's not really what we do, but there are certain remote functionalities you can do to for device management in terms of like updating our app or installing our app, but not necessarily controlling the those collaboration devices.
Okay. Next person is asking how to solve an issue with the custom template creation and video playback lagging.
We probably need a little more context around that. But if you are an Appspace user and you're experiencing that, I would we do have a support team that you can open up a ticket with. But one thing to probably look at is the device powerful enough to handle what you're trying to do. So there are because we support a number of different devices, there are certain devices are for certain use cases, right? So you might have like a specific device running like a really complex video wall that really has high processing power versus like a simplified digital signage like PC stick that's plugged into a screen that's just kind of playing images in a playlist.
All right, I believe that's it, everyone. So I just want to thank Justin and Danny, and also like to thank all of our attendees so much for joining us on today's presentation, The Intelligence Advantage from Smart Devices to Strategic Decisions. This recording will be available on the AVIXA website at avixa.org/webinars within about 5 to 7 business days. And then your one renewal unit will be applied to your transcripts within those 7 days. If you have any trouble with this, contact the AVIXA's webinar team directly, and we are at webinars@avixa.org. An important side note for CTS holders, if you have registered for this presentation with an email address other than what's on file for you, you will not get your renewal unit credit for attending. This will have to be fixed on the back end. So what you need to do in that situation is email membership@avixa.org and let your account manager know that you used the wrong email address when you registered, and we'll get it fixed for you on the back end. I also need to take the time out to thank Appspace and a huge thank you to Justin, Danny, and Josh for helping us to understand how you can turn your AV infrastructure into a real-time intelligence engine and prove your impact of technology investments. Be sure to continue the conversation and connections you made today by joining the AVIXA Exchange. It's an AV provider directory and a year-round community where you can grow your network and stay updated on current industry trends. We hope you've enjoyed our webinar today. Thank everyone for attending and make it a great day.